Hey, welcome back to day 8, 19. I can't remember, and I'm quite bad at that. Of Project Me. And yeah, like I just said, we are a little bit late with this video. It's not that I wasn't doing the videos on purpose, it's more that it just slipped my mind with everything else I've had going on. So yeah, a bit late with the upload, but that's alright. I know it's okay, and that's what matters. So yeah, let's get into it. So daily reflection, and probably the last few days as well, before moving on to what Ryan Holiday has to say in the book for today. And then we will go on to gratitude at the end. So we'll keep it brief, I hope. So first of all, what have I been up to the last few days? I think the last video was on Thursday. I think so, maybe. Can't quite remember, which is quite bad. But anyways, mostly been working on an essay for one of my classes. That's taken the priority. Also filled out an application for a leadership program. Started another application as well. Did some prep work for my lectures and tutorials tomorrow and the day after. So for school. And what else have I been up to? My schedule just over here. Just sending some emails, responding and all that. But mostly the essay work has taken up most of the time, but that's all right. One thing that's been bothering me recently is I have a really bad habit of being a bit of a foodaholic. So I love eating food. I'm not saying going out and buying, like restaurant stuff and being bougie and all that. I mean, if I'm bored, I always have to have my hands doing something. So if I'm not typing, or I'm not fidgeting, I'm eating. It's quite a bad habit, because to fuel that habit, I end up going to the New World, which is a supermarket, and I buy snacks, and the snacks are not always the healthiest. So for example, yesterday I went through like a whole pack of cookies, a whole Kik chocolate bar, and it's one of those small packets of Oreos. Not healthy, to say the least. Not healthy. And I need to break that habit, but I haven't broken it in years. I've always been a snacker. I just eat when I get anxious. Eating is like my solution to anything. So it's not something that's going to be broken easily, and I think the best way to mitigate it is simply by not buying those snacks, which is, I think, is one, easier said than done, but I don't think it's very challenging either, as long as I'm aware. And I only do it, for special occasions, for example, like to treat myself for doing a good job. But anyways, the point I'm trying to make is that I'm not happy with my decision to eat all this stuff, but I do it anyways, and so it makes me feel like a failure, right? Because it's like all these little tiny defeats, none of them really add up to anything substantial in terms of, getting behind or something, that would actually cause harm to my health. But that said, they do take a toll mentally, because, for example, today I've been very good. I said I'm not going to eat any of these snacks, and I haven't. And that's a win for me so far, But yesterday, for example, I said I wasn't going to do it, and I did. I still ate some snacks. I caved, and I just ate, and then I just did not feel great the rest of the day, partly because of so much sugar, no doubt. But a big part of that was because I said I would do something, and I didn't, right? And so that was a failure on me to keep up. And it's good that I'm taking responsibility for that, and I recognize that and recognize that I didn't live up to the standards that I set for myself. But that said, I also need to get better at self-talk, self-love. I was anxious yesterday, it's hard, and I just felt like letting go a little bit. And that's okay, as long as it happens every once in a while. And hopefully not ever again with that many snacks, but it's okay. I'm not beating myself too much up about it, because today's been a very good day in terms of that. So that's okay. That's really all I have to report for the last few days. Still can't get that girl out of my mind. I went all these months without thinking about her. And of course, just seeing her and we've seen each other a few times since, but just that last time that we saw each other, a week ago, can't get her out of my mind now, again. yeah, I don't know. We'll figure something out. Everything will be okay. But in any case, let's get on to Daily Stoic today. So today is April 28th. Yeah, 28th. Wow, look at me. Actually got the date right for once. Brilliant. All right. Wants make you a servant. And this is a quote by Seneca. Tantalus. Oh, it's like a play. So Tantalus is a character and Thyestes is a character as well. So just for context, so you understand. Tantalus. The highest power is, Thyestes, no power if you desire nothing. So the highest power is no power if you desire nothing. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, right? To argue by analogy, I suppose, if we look at the old joking metaphor, when men say, when, for example, men refer to the old shackle and chain, for example, when they mean their wife, they're kind of bound by a responsibility to the marriage, right? I'm not making a comment on whether that's good or bad. I'm just saying that it's an analogy that I'm bringing to this quote. Being a husband, for example, in that case, means that you have responsibilities to your wife, and so you're not entirely free. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I am saying that your commitment ties you down, right? That's not always a bad thing, but to truly live a free life, no commitment whatsoever, nothing tying you down, which comes with its own set of problems, I suppose, if you want to think about it. Beyond that, no connections to people, etc., etc., etc. Anyways, Ryan Holiday, he has to say this. In the modern world, our interactions with tyranny are a bit more voluntary than they were in ancient times. We put up with our controlling boss, that we could probably get a different job if we wanted. We change how we dress or refrain from saying what we actually think, because we want to fit in with some cool group. We put up with cruel critics or customers, because we want their approval. In these cases, the power exists because of our wants. You change that and you're free. Okay, slightly different take. The late fashion photographer Bill Cunningham occasionally declined to invoice magazines for his work. When a young upstart asked him why that was, Cunningham's response was epic. If you don't take money, they can't tell you what to do, kid. Remember, taking the money, wanting the money, proverbially or literally, makes you a servant to the people who have it. Indifference to it, as Seneca puts it, turns the highest power into no power. At least as far as your life is concerned. Yeah. I mean, if you want something from someone, you are bound to their whims, I suppose. Right? Whereas if the only thing you could ever want is something that you can give yourself, then, your greatest investment is you, I suppose. I hope that makes sense. Yeah. Well, it makes sense to me, at least. I hope it does. But what I'm trying to say is, if everything you could possibly want from life is found within you, then you have to embrace yourself. You have to invest in yourself to get it. And the more you invest in yourself, the greater the investment is, the more valuable it is, I suppose. So freedom is your investment into yourself, is one way of looking at it, I suppose. Anyways, that's what Ryan Holiday has to say about today. And so last bit of this video, we're going to talk about gratitude, 3 things I'm grateful for. Tricky one, actually. Been struggling, but nothing's really struck me as, which is really bad, I suppose, in a way, but today's maybe just not one of those days. Well, to begin with, I'm grateful for living on this beautiful planet. I know that's really cliche, but I'm looking outside and I'm seeing all these trees, and It's like, it just reminds me of how much I do love to go outside and how much I'd love to just go frolic in a field, for example, you know. So grateful for that. One day I'll have another opportunity to go and do that. But today is not that day, but one day. A second thing I'm grateful for. Our Wi-Fi was not working for a while yesterday. I suspected that one of my flatmate's boyfriends was using up all the bandwidth or something. I don't know. But anyways, one of my flatmates just went down and kicked it, and that seemed to do the trick. So grateful to both the flatmate and the kick itself for getting it sorted. Kind of needed that Wi-Fi for the work I did today, so vastly important, so thank you for that. Thirdly is my mum. She just sent me a message today saying, hope I had a wonderful day. It's very lovely weather up where she is, and so grateful for her for that, you know, checking in with me and all that. Yeah, actually there is something else. I'll do a fourth thing today, because why not? The more things I'm grateful for, the better. Mum and Dad, the other day, they offered me an opportunity to go back to the States, which is where I'm originally from, and most of my friends will be back at university by then, so I probably won't be able to see them, but I'll be able to catch up with their parents, and I'll just be able to go back to, you know, where I was raised. And it would only be for less than 2 weeks, and it costs an enormous amount of money, you know, $1,200. So I've told Mum and Dad that grateful for the offer, but I don't know how I could justify that to them. You know, I couldn't even do it for myself. If I had $1,200 to do that, I wouldn't even do that. So why should I take them up on that offer that they can? You know, I'd feel a little bit bad if I said yes. And I know they're doing it out of the kindness of their heart, and they just want me to go back, but I couldn't do that in good conscience, you know. It feels like it'd be a waste of money for that short amount of time. So, but I'm really grateful that they did offer that, so thanks, Mum and Dad. Thank you. But anyways, that is today. Hope you all have a wonderful day. See you tomorrow. Ben. Cheers, guys.